Namaskar, Adab, Sat Shri Akal, a very warm welcome, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Hope you're doing well, staying safe, and staying healthy. I know this is not the regular time, not the time that I generally come live, but I had to make this happen. I had to get this done for sure. बहुत सारे issues, questions, बहुत सारे naam have come up in the last 1.5 years, almost 2 years now, since the demise of Sushant Singh Rajput. बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें बाहर निकल के आई हैं, चाहे वो ड्रग से रिलेटेड हो, चाहे वो बहुत सारी अंडरवर्ल्ड से रिलेटेड चीजें हों, या ऐसे लोग जो ग्रुपिज्म, गैंगिज्म या डिफरेंट और तरह की चीज़ों में इन्वॉल्व करके लोगों को आइसोलेट करते हैं. They create their own groups, gangs, and then they want their own people, their own tribe to kind of succeed in life or make others a failure. ऐसा ही हमारी इंडस्ट्री बॉलीवुड में था, जो कि सुशांत के जाने के बाद बहुत ज़्यादा उभर के सामने आया. ऐसा ही बाकी इंडस्ट्रीज में, बहुत सारी इंडस्ट्रीज और जितने भी बिजनेसेस होते हैं, इवन हमारे प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में, वी फाइंड सर्टन थिंग्स लाइक दैट. Most of the times we tend to ignore them. Most of the times we just want to move ahead and move forward. And एक हमारी, कह लें, इंडिया की संस्कृति में आता है कि चल रहने दे, तुझे जब तक तुझे कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं हो रहा तब तक तूने क्या लेना. That attitude, the chalta hai attitude, has changed in the last 1.5 years. Now, if it's somebody who you don't even know is getting injustice, we need to stand by that individual. We need to stand for them. We need to hear their stories and act, as per the requirement. जो भी होता है उसके हिसाब से हमें we have to start supporting such people. Recent, अगर हम देखें, we are doing the same thing around Sushant. We are doing the same thing around Samir Vankade. And there are many, many more people, thousands and lakhs of people who are going through this ordeal, just because they want to work in a certain way, which is maybe the more ethical way, maybe the more honest way, and they don't want to give in to certain demands, needs, wants, or whatever word you can use for them. So ऐसा ही आज एक ऐसा केस कहे या एक ऐसा इशू कहे, जो बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा हुआ था, मी टू मूवमेंट. सुशांत से रिलेटेड इसलिए भी मैं बार बार चीज़ों को कनेक्ट करता हूँ, बिकॉज सुशांत को भी ऐसी एक चीज़ में इन्वॉल्व किया गया था. हालांकि ही केम आउट विक्टोरियस, ही केम आउट क्लीन, बट there were certain names that came out from the industry, from Bollywood and from outside of Bollywood as well, who were part of this. And the dirt this industry has needs to be cleaned up. But very few people have the courage to come out, speak about it. Very few people have the courage to even go through this and still survive. A lot of people have gone into depression. A lot of people have gone into committing, a lot of things, like suicides and committing other blunders as well, getting into drugs and whatnot. But very few come out strong, and they stand by what they've said. They really stand by certain aspects of this issue. But tonight's or today's show is all about somebody who has gone through not only a series of abuses, but also gone through a lot of challenges throughout her career. And I'm sure she's still going through them, but she's had the courage to talk about it tonight or today. So I'm really, really proud. First of all, I'd like to thank that individual. I'm forgetting the name of that individual who connected me, who wanted me to get Aparna on this show. And I think it's been about a month when he started tagging me and pointing me towards Aparna and her Instagram posts and whatnot. I did not know, I did not hear about Aparna till then. And after I started reading that, I reached out to her, and she has been very, very graceful. Yes, of course, she has her own inhibitions and her own challenges that she has to go through. But I'm hoping this particular session will be a very open, very candid, and we all want to hear her. So without wasting any more time, I'm going to add her onto the screen. Hello, Aparna. How are you?
Hi, thanks for having me. Finally convincing me to do this. I think this is going to be the only video interview because as soon as you said yeah, I mean, you asked me and I said yes, after that I was like, I don't think I want to. Like, it's a lot of pressure on me, you know. So, also, my team is not with it. I don't know why.
And I am really glad. Actually, SS, I'm forgetting your name. He's saying it was me, Varun. So thanks to this individual who connected me to your Instagram post, I'm really really happy to say that he really did the right thing, because stories like yours, Aparna, need to be told,
Okay.
need to be heard. So I really want to acknowledge it and thank you so much for that, SS. Aparna, first of all, let's start a little bit about you. Who is Aparna? Can you just talk us a little about yourself?
Well, I mean, I'm an extremely introverted, and I've been modeling since 2011, and I've been trying to work around the dirt. I obviously am aware of how the industry is, but I've always had a good reputation, and I try to work with good people because it's not like the whole industry is bad. But the thing is, yeah, but last 4 or 5 years, it just started to become more and more difficult because I realized that the people from my past, like if somebody had abused me, see, they can't abuse me like this, right? So first they drug you, they kind of intoxicate you, and then when you're weak, vulnerable, that's when they attack you. Not just attack you. I know of girls who've been passed around and they don't want to come out and talk about it. It's just so infuriating. With me, it was like one guy, right? But he did not just use me. He went around talking shit about me, like, oh, she's like this, she likes that, and she's a party girl. Like, they were trying to portray me like Miley Cyrus, right? Yeah, like she just parties and she's talented. You can do this for her, that for her, and she's gonna be with you, like that kind of stuff. And that's just not me. I don't even like talking. I can go for like days without talking and stuff like that. Like, I'm just an artist and I like my place. I like my solitude. I don't even like these guys. And it just, what happened is that I just hurt their ego because they can't take rejection, basically. Right? And then they did everything in their power to destroy me, my career, my work, my reputation, everything. And it's sad because newspapers like Times of India are even, backing these bastards up. So, yeah.
I know. This is the sad part. I'm gonna mute you because I think when you're okay, all right. I'm gonna mute you as well because there was a static. So I'll unmute you when I'm done talking. Uh, that is the sad part for sure. But at the same time, there are very very few people like you, uh, who not only have come out and continue to fight, but also are like an inspiration to some of the newer generation and newer kids on the block who want to pursue certain careers and certain aspects of this industry. But there are always challenges. There are always, like, the parents always get worried whether I should send my daughter or son to be, say, a model or an actress or actor. And the journey that you've gone through, we'd love to know more about that as well. But for everybody to know, there's a lot of information that has already been shared in the public domain, what Aparna has gone through, especially around the Me Too movement. uh, but even before we go there, why don't you talk us a little bit about, how do these agencies who sign you up, or who work with you, what is their kind of business model? How do they work? How do they operate? What kind of things do they offer to you as a newbie? And how do they lure you into certain aspects of, like, drugs or other stuff, and certain other aspects that you might want to share with more, more of our audience?
Um, The thing is, I was not lured by the agency, and Colston was the one who put me in touch with Inega, and then he was also the one who ruined my career because he kept calling casting directors up. Because at some point, I was selected for a Saif Ali Khan movie as a lead. This bastard calls up the casting director, ruins my name, like, oh, she's temperamental and whatnot, and you don't want to work with her. That's what he did with many projects, and I did not know because I was happy to share it with him. I thought he was a friend, and the same thing has happened in my life so many times with different people. So Colston was the one who got me, who told me about Inega, because I was freelancing before that. And after Inega, it was Ilan, Kwan. It's both. I mean, it's the same agency basically, and that happened through Anirban Bla. Anirban, I mean, he wanted to manage me basically. He was the one who got me interested in Bollywood. I, as a kid, was never into Bollywood. I've watched DDLJ like once and I hated it. I'm not into Bollywood. So he was the one who was all like, no, you can have a long term career in Bollywood. Deepika was my, like he's very close to Deepika, Ranveer, all of these names, Bipasha. He used to just, name drop a lot. And then that's how he won my trust. And he was like, but you need grooming, you need direction, you need people to guide you. And then he was like, I showed your pictures to some of these, and he sits with Anurag Basu and people like that. So he's like, I've showed your pictures to these guys, and you fit in that domain. You just need to kind of keep shooting, and that's what I was doing because I thought if they already like me and it can be a clean work, and then everything got dirty, and he's like, no, like there's thousands of girls. Just because you have a pretty face, you are talented, you're hot, that's not good enough. You need to have a reputation, like a reputation. I'm saying rapport with every single producer and director of yours. So that's when I was like, there's some shady thing going on because I was 19 when I started working, and at that time I was like pretty naive and I used to kind of trust these guys because honestly I come from like abuse is not new to me. My mom is pretty abusive herself, so like it's a part of my life, right? So it just never left me, and I kind of have sympathy for these kind of people. Like I've studied psychology because I'm like Harley Quinn. I just fucking like psychos maybe. So it doesn't scare me. Like I see red flags, it doesn't scare me, and I was trying to work around it. But that was the mistake I made because when they found the opportunity to take advantage, they did. And as
Let
far
me
as
let me
drugs, yeah.
let me cut you here. I would love people to. Okay, there's a lot of disturbance. I'm going to mute you again. Sorry for cutting you, but I really want people to understand. You've taken two names, and I really want them to understand. Who these people are and what are they known for, uh, and how exactly the signs that Aparna is talking about. Maybe there would be some other signs that you, as an individual, or I, as an individual, can maybe see and stop ourselves from getting into this. So the first name that she took was Julian Colston. Colston, right? A famed photographer, a photographer who has shot many big names, and he is considered as someone who could be like a king or a queen maker as well. Somebody who has. Okay, I'm gonna unmute you. Yeah, you want to tell us a little bit about him?
Oh, he's one of the biggest photographers here. He's a commercial photographer and he makes like 1.5, 2.5 lakhs per shoot. So that's kind of a big deal. And he shoots almost like every day, a month or so. So he told me, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, he's very well liked for his work. As a person, I did not know anything because I'm very introverted, like I said. So I only got to know him through him, and it was a lot of manipulation, a lot of bullshit. It was never We were never dating. Like he's gone to the police and he's told them we were in a live-in relationship, and I'm like, if we were in a live-in relationship, why don't we have one single picture together like a couple? Why don't we don't, because it was a forceful, abusive relationship. I don't want to, like, I don't, it's like Alia and R. Kelly. I don't know, like, I don't want to drop big names, but That's what I'm talking about. It was just like that abusive. And he was a person I confided in, and that's why it kind of ruined me, because I was like, if this guy can do this, then what about the rest of the industry? Because he was being honest to me about the industry, like she's like that, she sleeps around, and about Deepika, about Nargis, how much drugs they do, and all of that. So I got to know a lot about the industry through him. But then, like, it wasn't really working in my favor because he wasn't helping my career. He had other plans, he wanted to kind of control me, keep me for him, etc. Things like that. And I was very career oriented. I still am. So
Got it. And the second name, that name that needs. Okay, I'm gonna mute again.
Anirban.
Oh, yes, Anirban. Why don't you talk a little bit about him as well?
So Anirban was a celebrity manager, and he's the reason why Deepika is as big as she is, because like he claims to be outsider ka Karan Johar basically, and he's like, I have made everyone from Bipasha to Nargis to Jia Khan was also his own discovery, and she has also been abused by him, by the way. And like so many, Evelyn Sharma, like I can keep like hundreds of girls. And the thing is, they never talk about it because obviously it's embarrassing, first of all. And in most cases, I think it was casting couch, right? So they can't really open up about that. But in my case, it was not, because I've already I've tried to kind of work around it. I've told them I have to be kind of. I was with someone else, so I was like, I'm not getting physical with you for sure. And he's like, then we can't work. And he'd already wasted so many years of mine, and that's how he got like whatever. He tried to kind of mentally abuse me. There was a lot of mental abuse with him. Like, he's like, you're not confident, you don't show it, you're sexy but you hide it. Like, if I'm not basically using my body with him, then I'm shy and I'm whatever, I'm not ready for Bollywood. That was his take on me. So he wanted me to be more like Deepika because she's trisexual or something, and she sleeps around. She has slept around a lot, like ever since she was 15 or something. First for modeling assignments, then for just money, and then when she had money, then Bollywood. I'm not Deepika. I don't want to be, and I'm not even a fan. So yeah,
All right, that's gonna be something for the Deepika fans here as well. Luckily, I'm not, and
I have a lot of yeah. No, the thing is, I started modeling in Bangalore, so I know quite a bit about her. I've heard a lot, like how she kind of a social climber thing. She finds a better guy. She found Ranbir. She dropped everyone else. Before Ranbir, she was like with four other guys. So things like that.
yeah, it's not a surprise to me. I mean, hearing this is like just getting a validation. What I've heard from other people as well. So now let me talk a little bit about Julian for a second. I'm going to mute you again because of the noise. Julian, I read a lot about Julian. Of course, you've already mentioned photographer and does some good work with the camera and all that stuff. But there have been things against him, not just by you, by other women as well. Specifically, if I talk about you, there have been things like, physically beating you or abusing you. And then, the only question that comes up is, what happened, or, in this case, why no police action? Why no strict action or a case or something against a man, or not even a man, a loser who is a serial abuser who physically abuses women, who physically molests women, and still is getting his stuff, work done, making money, while the women who are being abused, if they speak up, they lose their opportunities. They have no future, and they don't get any work in the future. So why no legal action or nothing has happened as yet against him?
See, I don't know, but I do know that he is kind of a powerful guy because he's friends with a bunch of politicians here. I don't know. I think he's even a part of some political party, and he has definitely pulled some strings because there were some articles like people writing on his behalf, like, oh, he's been attacked. Like, look look how people misuse me too. And I'm just disgusted. And honestly, there were all the girls. You're right, because people approached me, his own interns, ex-interns, and hairstylists, and there are stylists and other models as well. So many stories, like it was scary for me. He's like just copy pasting like the whole that's what scared me, and I was like, this needs to stop, and I thought they will back me up. At least if I'm leading it, they can at least say yes, that happens. But even that they cannot do, because they're actually with Inega, these girls. And all of
Wow.
them were like, yeah, I'll go to the police, I'll do whatever I can, you have my support. And I have the messages from Ujwala Rao, the model, the supermodel, who's in New York, whatever. So everybody knows how he is, and they just told me to kind of forget about it and basically judge people better now on. That's about it.
I know. I think that is the biggest problem that, every single, let me mute you again. I don't know why this, sorry guys. I really want to apologize. I have no clue why this crackling sound is coming. I hope you're able to hear. I'm going to put myself on mute when I let Aparna speak. So I apologize ahead of time. So yes, what I was saying was, this is the sad part, that even the people who have gone through this, they also try, just maybe because they want a career or a future, or they want a stable, income. They keep quiet. They continue with the abuses. They continue with all that. And now the new angle, and not new, for us it is new because we are not part of this industry. For us, industry is that flashy world where everything is like, all about money, about power, about movies, music, and whatnot. Now the new thing that has come out of it is the drug angle. Everybody, you mentioned, and you were actually talking about it when I cut you, but uh, these agencies, even these agencies like Koan, or Inega, or any company you can name. We've also seen in Sushant's case, there is a lot of money that gets, between people for drugs. They are like the kingpins, and they're the peddlers, if I could call them, for drugs. You want to tell us a little bit about that as well? And say anything.
There are a lot of peddlers, and it's not just the artist managers. Like, it's even the models, even the struggling models. Like, it's an easy way to make money. And I don't know why Aryan Khan got all the limelight. I think his movie's coming out, that's why they wanted him to kind of be everywhere, because everybody's doing it. It's not like his own mother does it. Gauri Khan is the biggest crackhead in town, everybody knows it. So I don't understand, like, but yeah, I've been offered all kinds of stuff. Like, Sheel Gupta is one of the biggest guys who, he's a peddler, he's a pimp, he's into all of that darknet shit. Like, that's why I like to stay away from him. But like, whatever. Like, if he asked me out, if he called me to like 1,000 parties, because he parties all the time, I went to one, and even in that, he, whatever, could not control his hands basically. And later his mouth, like, oh, she's difficult. Even the agencies, I tell you, like, this is how they talk about models who are not okay with sleeping around people like me. I'm difficult to work with, I have a big personality, and like, i'm I'm fussy basically. Yeah, they're like easy girls, like Jacqueline Fernandez. She would do anything, she's always happy. She's been through quite a lot. I don't even want to talk about it, that's her problem. But like, that's what they want. They want girls who are okay with it. Urvashi Rautela, like, people are happy with her because they think she's an outsider, she's kind of an icon. But you have no idea what she's up to, like how she got where she is. And she's not exactly an outsider, just like Shahrukh basically. But she doesn't get the same limelight, even because, well, she's a female. So yeah.
That is true. I'll just say something, based on information that has been shared with me. Urvashi Rotela, I've heard a lot of stories about her. Again, since I don't have all those proofs, of course, you must have seen, gone through, and all that stuff. But I've been told things like right now, also, she's being controlled by these sheikhs and, people in Dubai, and how she has just completely kind of given herself. And She's just like a puppet right now in the hands of a lot of people who are literally abusing her, and she's getting abused, but with a smile. And I think that's what differentiates you with the others, because you stood for yourself. You did not want to be this puppet, or they have very bad words as well for such people. But you really didn't want to go through this, because I think you had your own self-esteem, your moral values, your ethics in place. And these guys um, just wanted to have a career, that limelight and that fame, for which they give away everything. Now, you've talked about these agencies again. I would love to kind of understand, and for the newer generation as well, again, uh, when these agencies try to get you or sign you up, what are the different kind of ticks or trips that you can share, uh, that a person should be careful about before signing up, before giving away yourself or your rights to these companies? And I've also heard it's a lot of money involved. Do they also kind of have you sign, like, you're supposed to do XYZ, other than what you're supposed to do, like modeling or movies or acting? Are there other things also in some kind of contracts? What does the contract look like, and what are the things that you should be careful of?
See, normally, when they sign up a new model, they sign up for at least 3 to 5 years, right? And they completely control you. They even wanted to control my social media, which I was not okay with, and I never gave up my handle. Otherwise, they do with most models. And apart from that, they throw quite a bit like of these model parties where they kind of help you mingle with the city crowd and the right clients, basically. So they're also, you get introduced to drinking, drugs, all of that. It becomes kind of a part of your life. Some would say that's like a pickup point. Models get picked up, and next thing you know, you have a boyfriend and whatever, things like that. And I was never okay with that. I have never attended like a model party thrown by Inega, Toa, or any of these agencies, basically. So that is again, like, they were not okay with that. They think I'm pretty uptight, and I might be. I don't know. Maybe I think I am. So yeah, that's all a part of it. But I think signing up is safe comparatively. But nowadays we have Instagram, so we don't even need that. For a new aspiring model, and if she's tall, if she's pretty, you don't need an agency. Just do your own thing. Like, yeah, use Instagram, use YouTube, make your own content, be a content creator. In fact, that's what
Right.
they want. Like, I have gained nothing from being with an agency except, they just take my money 30%, 40%. They are mooching off. So I was not making that much with them. I was making a lot more as a freelancer.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this guy Anirban Bla a little bit more. He's, from what I know or what I've read in the past, he's no more part of the Kwan team, right? Or is he?
He got fired in 2018 because four different females me too'd him, and then he pretended, basically attempted a suicide. And it was the Times of India team, obviously the biggest patriarch supporter, whatever. They saved them from the spot. And yeah, he hasn't been stable, basically. That's what he says, like he's depressed and all that. Because I tried to find out, because I've been through depression, right? And I've studied psychology. I thought I could help him, and I'm so stupid I could not see through it for a very long time that he was just faking it. Because we never met, right? He was just texting me, and how do you know somebody is lying through texts? And he was lying throughout. So yeah. And like I said, he was one of the owners. I think he still is for Kwan South. One is Alu Arjun and one is this guy, I think. Otherwise, he's retired in Bangalore. He just lives there. Otherwise,
Right.
he's very
And
well connected, though. Like, he's very well connected with all the actors and producers. I don't think he has a great reputation, but then who does in Bollywood? They don't care.
right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Alu Arjun, and there's a lot of Bollywood and I don't know, Tollywood or whatever the name is, actors from down south, from north, from Bollywood, everybody getting involved. There was some kind of accusations on Jackie Bhagnani, and then there were attacks on a lot of other actors as well. But I don't know, again, when people say attack on actors, Shahrukh pe attack hua. Right now, they were saying this was a very pre-planned thing with Aryan Khan. It was an attack on Shahrukh for certain reasons. But we all know, what Shahrukh is all about. We all know Gauri Khan. You've already mentioned. We've heard stories. She was also caught with drugs. I mean, it's drugs doesn't come like like a surprise to anybody in the Bollywood industry or even the South industry. Now, what about these Bollywood stars or these Tollywood stars? There are star kids, who get it a little easier than anyone of like us. If we have to try, or if we get into as an outsider, it's definitely difficult. But for them, it comes easy. But what about this drug angle? Is it easy for them to become peddlers and easy for them to spread the drugs and this culture, the party, rave party, and all that culture? Because we've seen all these kids, chahe wo Shahrukh ho, chahe Chunky Pandey, chahe any Salman Khan, nephew, nieces, all of them, kahin na kahin, they are always, either drunk or they're high on something, even on cameras as well sometimes. So to talk a little bit about this,
The thing is, I almost pity these kids. They have a very hard life. They've grown up watching their parents cheat on each other, do drugs, just sleep around. It's hard. And honestly, I've made some friends also in the industry, and I know that's exactly how it is. Not everybody enjoys being a star kid. They're like trapped. They want to do something else, but they can't. There's a lot of pressure on them. And but they can't leave it either because it's too comfortable, right? It's like the most natural thing they can do is be an actor, since they come from an actor or a producer, things like that. They are safe, they're very protected, they can kill someone like me, that's how people have been killed, Jia Khan, etc. And they get away with it because they're so protected.
see the way you're talking, right, Aparna, I mean, that's another thing. You're so confident and confidently telling us that people get killed and they are getting killed. Why is this not, is spoken about? Why are these people not brought to justice, or why are these people not caught? Is it such a big nexus of like these criminals all working together hand in glove?
They are very powerful. Bollywood is more powerful than the government, easily, right?
Wow.
Because the money that Bollywood has comes from people that kind of run India. I'm not kidding. And they run countries. I'm talking about the people who sit in Dubai. They tell Narendra Modi what to do when he does it. They can get a mujra out of Shah Rukh Khan and he would do it. And in fact, he does it. You know, Shah Rukh is Shah Rukh because he's got so many mafia lovers. He does. So I don't like Mumbai police cannot do anything. They are very weak. They are illiterate, dude. Like I send them the evidence and they can't read it. They don't know how to use YouTube. They don't know how to use Twitter. Like I'm not your teacher. Like I was in such a strange mindset, and I just wanted to kind of chill out. I thought they would help me, but they were asking me 10,000 stupid, like the stupidest conversations I've had was with the police. Like they don't know their job. Forget about doing it. I don't know how they ever solve a crime case.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Okay.
I was shocked.
I expected a lot of people, from different agencies and all that, because of course everybody knows your name and all. I can see a lot of people are watching at this point of time. I don't see a lot of attacks and all that stuff, and no abuses being heard, but that's fine. And that's really nice that you're watching, all of you, because this is all about the candid things that happen in the industry. Now, there are a few people who are asking some questions. And Aparna, I'm going to throw those questions to you. I would love to hear what you have to say about managers in agencies like Karishma Prakash, Jay Prahar, and Pawan Cornerstone. What is their role? Why actresses are seen asking for drugs from the industries?
See, I haven't met either, but the thing is, it's pretty much the same. Like, they do what they're told to do, and like They know what sells. Urvashi Rautela sells. They want to turn everyone into Urvashi Rautela. And I have my own personality. I'm way too talented to ever, honestly, can I curse? Can I
Yes,
curse on you? Okay, good.
go ahead.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
fuck with Bollywood basically. That's what I'm saying. Because I am very independent and I write my own songs, I make my own music. I don't need them. They need me and they need me very badly. So much so that they're so obsessed. And I'm still getting gang stalked. It's like, it's harassment, but I can't do anything. Like, I don't have evidences, you know? They are just. And as far as these girls, they're trying to make money. You know, everybody's trying to climb up the ladder. Like, they would do anything to make their, like, if I'm a like a celebrity client, they would do anything to make us happy, whether it's drugs or hook me up with Ranbir Kapoor for a night and things like that. They would do it. That's what they do. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hearing your stuff, you hearing your story, uh, you know, I've had Pooja Mishra on the show a couple of times. And Pooja Mishra has also said a lot of things around the Salman Khan family, the Sonakshi Sinhas of the world, and all that stuff. And she
Yeah.
has said almost the same things that you've said. That it's all about if somebody has talent, they don't really care about the talent. All they care is whether you give in to their demands, whether you give in to what they want, and if you're able to do that, then you are successful. If you don't, and if you stand by your own talent or your ideology, they don't give a damn about who you are, what your talent is, and all that stuff. They will just literally kick you out and isolate you. And that's what, I feel that's what happened with Sushant as well. And I like to know your perspective as well. I'm sure you have heard about everything around Sushant happening in the last 1.5 years. What's your take around that? How do you see that particular murder or killing or whatever you want to call it?
Frankly, I never got to meet him, but I was very close to working with him twice. And
Oh
one
wow.
time I myself backed out of a TVC because of Anirban Bla. Anirban Bla was one of the people who were gossiping about Sushant. And he's like, why do you want to work with that guy? Oh, his time is over. He's crazy. And all of those rumors basically, like his bedroom is filled with his own pictures and he plays his own music, things like that. Like he's either looking into the mirror or he's looking at his own image. And like, I was just like, I had to trust him at that point. I think 2017 I'm talking about. So I trusted Anirban. I'm like, okay, maybe he is, because I thought he was like super smart. And I feel bad because, and I relate with it. I remember 14 June, I was having like an anxiety attack because I live alone, right? And I have no friends. I know a lot of people. I don't have any friends. And I know a lot of snakes though. They would love to do whatever and get away with it, things like that. Like they would steal my talent, steal my identity. It's very easy to fake it. And that's what the most, like most of the people, that's what they're doing. You talked about star kids, right? They have everything, but frankly, they don't have like a natural talent. Most of them, they don't. And I've already been copied by, I don't want to take names, but I've already been copied by so many people in the industry. And like, it's not even a crime, right? When they can't even arrest rapists, so what is this? They can't do anything about it. Yeah, we just have to live with it, I guess, being an outsider. That's why I don't even audition. I get casting calls, etc. I don't audition. I don't want to. I don't want anything to do with Bollywood. I'm like, I will be independent forever. I'm not even signing up with labels because music industry is a whole different, like, they have their own games altogether. They also
Okay.
harass. They are also into the same thing. Like if you're friends with them, if you bend, when they tell you to bend, they will give you work. But that's
Yeah.
about it. You have to be their puppet. Yeah, you can't talk about them like I am right now. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's another guy, common man. He's already apologizing. He's asking a very kind of a stupid, not stupid, but yes, a little kind of a offbeat question. But he's heard about certain rate cards. Now you've talked about Rotella. You've talked about all these. Is there like something like that in the industry? Have you heard something like that?
Rate cards. I've heard that. Well, most actresses sleep around for work, right? They do. So if you can sleep around with the producer, director for work, why won't you sleep around with a sheikh or someone like, I don't know, Narendra Modi for money? They would, and they do. Like politicians, Amar Singh was like one of the biggest. He's been with so many Bollywood actresses because he used
Yeah,
to like, I don't want to take name, but yeah, he used to like give a lot of money, like 1 crore, 50 lakhs kind of shit, and everybody has bills to pay, I guess. So yeah, it's true, but that's what I don't like. See, Priyanka Chopra, everybody idolizes her so much, but she has also done it. She's done it, but nobody knows. Like people want to put everything behind and make her an icon. She's not. She's so fake.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I know even with the fake accent, yes, she is. We've seen that, but right now she is the Desi girl, and she is the style icon, and that's how they become, right? You need to know the right people. You need to have those contacts. You need to build those relationships with the wrong people, if I could say, not the right people. uh, and there you are. Like, Urvashi Rotela right now, it's all about Dubai, money, flashy life. I keep on picking Urvashi because, off late I started watching her face in all those videos. Look like, occasionally it looks like as if she is under some kind of pressure. She's just like a puppet. Recently, yesterday or day before, she's practicing for some kind of TV show or some award show. She doesn't even have control over where she can walk. She was being held, just like I saw, the famous clip of Sushant, where this notorious guy is walking Sushant into a car. Similarly, I saw yesterday Urvashi being, escorted into an elevator, and even though I think she wanted to talk or she wanted to give an angle to the camera, but she was just kind of taken inside. And I think it's all because they are just puppet for them, and that's how it is. Now, another thing which comes up very frequently among these A-listers, or the Bollywood or the models or even the music industry, uh, is about these different locations like Maldives, and they go to different Dubai and all that. Anything that you have heard, seen, or you can share about why things are kind of going out of India as well, like people traveling to Dubai or Maldives. Is it drugs? Is it something else? Anything you want to share?
Wait, your
Anything you
voice
know?
was breaking big time. I couldn't hear the
Okay, let
question.
me mute you again. All right. So another thing, which is very prevalent, is people traveling to different destinations like Maldives and whatnot. Uh, do you, or have you, in your experience, heard about anything being around drugs or something else being involved in those locations? Why are these becoming favorite hotspots for models, for singers, even the Bollywood people, and why are they traveling that much? Is there some kind of money pumping that comes through the Maldives angle or some other country angle? Anything that you can share around that? Have you heard about anything like that or not?
Okay. See, I don't know anything. Like, I haven't seen anything with my own eyes, but I've heard a lot. And apparently, there's a lot of import export of seafood. And I've heard that in that seafood, like inside the fish, they kind of shove a lot of cocaine bags, that's where they hide it. And it goes to Maldives, basically. And that's where they can, consume, basically, it's a safe space, Maldives, to kind of do drugs, I guess, and get away with it. It's a lot of Indians there, so it's just extended India.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Okay. Last few questions, of course, because there are a lot of questions coming from people as well. Have you heard of this name, Sohail Seth?
Sorry?
Sohail Seth,
Oh, of
who
course.
writes the blank articles and all that stuff? Have you heard
I
about
did
him?
meet with him as well, by the way.
Okay. Can you tell us a little
And
bit about him? What do you think about him?
uh, tell you about the incident or what? Like,
Sure, sure.
so I met him at an after party, GQ after party, once upon a time, I think, 2018, and So somebody introduced me to him saying that I'm a poet and I write, which I do. And he was like, "Oh, I know a lot of publishers. Can I read something?" And I showed him some poems, and he was like, "Wow, this is amazing. I've never seen like anything like it. You can be this, you can be that." Compared me with a bunch of super successful like poets ever, like historical ones. And I'm just like, okay, next time I'm in Delhi, I'll call you, etc. So whatever, we kept in touch on and off. And personality wise, he's tolerable, right? But he's not someone you can be alone with as a female. And I wasn't kidding when I posted about his daughter, because he told me he's been with some 3,500 females approx. And like, I'm scared for his daughter. Like, he's like, I just can't help myself around a pretty woman. And I'm like, so whatever. In Indore, he called me basically to introduce me to a music company. I forget the name. Something with the Digiana. I don't know if you heard of them. So he was like, they would love to invest in your thing. Come in for a meeting. So I did, and yeah, that's where we went out. We with the whole crew, like I mean, the investors, their family, Suhail, me, all of us, and then I was really drunk, and obviously he knew that, and he kept offering me more, and I was like, no, I'm like, I'm. By then, I was very comfortable with him. Basically, 2019 this was, and around my birthday that too. That's why I was drinking so much. So yeah, I did the mistake of going to his suite room, because he was like, I haven't heard your song, and I had made a new song, and I wanted kind of to make him, hear it, whatever. So yeah, loved the song, played it, but whatever. He just forced himself onto me, and he just kept coming onto him, and I'm like, no. I literally pushed him, but then he grabbed me. I was literally weak by then. I don't know. There was no water in his room, and I kept drinking more because I don't know. I just don't remember the whole thing, but yeah. I mean, people like to think that rape is gonna be something bloody and murky and all that, but it's just like, I did not give him my consent. In fact, I told him a clear no, and that's what makes it rape. And I don't think the police even understands this, because they're like, oh, we need. Did you have any scratches? Did you have wounds? Like, I'm not walking around with someone's semen and blood in me. Like, after all these years, like, how do you prove it? That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The reason I, yeah, the
currently I'm
reason,
not in touch with any of these guys,
yeah,
including Sohail, of course. So
right, right. And the reason I brought him out is, these are the guys who are all part of the same chain. Recently, I think last year, or let me mute the, let me mute it. Okay. Recently, this news came up that he's become the creative head or something for Kawan, which is, or Cornerstone, along with Karan Johar. Karan Johar, again, being a big, I'm going to use the word. He to me is definitely the biggest peddler, pimp, or whatever you want to call him. He has abused and used, I don't know. I mean, thousands and thousands of people. He's just completely screwed up careers of a lot of people, and for his own people who are ready to bend backwards to him, and he's made them big. Did you have any kind of interaction, anything around any of these Bollywood mafias as well, or anything?
I have been around them. I can't lie. But like I said, I'm not interested to get into Bollywood. That's why I kept my distance. Like, that's the only way to coexist. Because if I'm blunt, right, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I like your work, I really like your work. I don't. And I'm not gonna lie to their faces. So as far as Karan Johar is concerned, yeah, I've heard like he's invited a lot of model friends of mine I've worked with to kind of be with them, stay with them, and offer them something or the other. They don't offer movies right away. First, they offer you just come over, have fun, and he's gonna pass you around to his friends and things like that. He's not into girls. I'm talking about boys. So yeah, you're right. He has. I don't think if that counts as molestation exactly, because it's more of a casting couch situation. But
Right.
yes, these guys are very wicked, evil, and they do it in front of everyone. And somehow they still have everyone's support. Like, oh my god, he's such a great personality. Like, no, he's not. He's not. Ajit Thakur, one of these guys, right? He's very inspired by Karan Johar, and he wants to be like that. And he's down the same path, like he does the same things.
Uh, now, since you're talking about the Bollywood and all that stuff, there are some more questions coming in. So I'm gonna take some more questions from people uh, around Bollywood. Let me just mute you again because there's a lot of disturbance. Okay, around Bollywood, you mentioned Bollywood is really, really strong because of whatever influence from Dubai, from other people, money being pumped from here and there. Now, if as an insider, if you had to tell me that, you know what, we can do this to fix this problem, do you have anything that you can suggest or say, you know what, if we take care of this, this whole menace will be cleaned up? You know what? Um, I'll give you an example. uh, we've been talking about NCB for the last almost 6 months, almost a year now. NCB is the narcotics, board bureau, and Samir Vankade, who's leading this charge in Mumbai, specifically around Mumbai, has taken this vow to clean up the entire Mumbai of this. So, if I had to kind of ask you as Samir Vankade right now, that Parna, you've been an insider, you've seen it, you've seen a lot of this shit already. Where do you see are the focus areas? Where should I focus? Where should I look into to curb this, to stop this, and then clean it up? What would you tell me?
I find it very hard to believe that the NCB is not aware of what's been going on in Bollywood. But if they actually do not, I think it is a big problem. But I mean, a part of me doesn't want to kind of interfere with that because I know everybody deals with a lot of mental stress, illnesses, and whatnot, and they do it kind of to cope with it, right? What I'm not okay with is when they force it on people. Like, my drinks have been spiked up. I don't take drugs. I've never bought drugs. My drinks get spiked up, and things like that. That is what I'm not okay with, and it obviously happens around pimps and like guys like Sheel Gupta, guys like Gurpreet Singh of Kingfisher, and just very well protected people. Like, these are like chamchas of a very big group, but they get away with it because they're protected. And I don't think NCB, like, they should know. They know from what's his name, John, not John Abraham. Literally everyone, man. Like Ritik, his wife, Gauri, all the biggest names. What do you like? How can you arrest all of these people? I don't think it's ever gonna happen. You can't clean up Bollywood. What you can do is choose to invest your energy somewhere else. Just you know, be careful where you're putting your money, your time, your energy into. Like, know your stars. Like, I've been very careful. I've never idolized any of these people. So yeah.
Right, right. Let me just take a little different or specific to your experiences. The music industry. How do you feel in the music industry? How is the situation? uh, all these bigger brands like T Series and all that stuff, and the smaller brands as well. Talk to us a little about that.
Well, I have met most of them. I know most of them, and Universal T Series is considered to be the biggest, and Universal I thought would be better for me because I'm into English music, but they told me that they're not doing English, even though that's what they do for Ananya Birla, because she brings in her own money and things like that. But that's the only artist they have, so I'm cool with it. And as far as T Series is concerned, they don't pay. They don't pay. Like, they will give you exposure, and I was never okay with that, right? If I was a Hindi singer, writer, they would have signed me up. But I did not want that. I've heard like a lot of like I want my freedom, as a songwriter even. I can never sing like a stupid song. I made a Dhak Dhak Karne Laga version, and it's the stupidest song I've ever sung, and I hate it. I would never do anything like it ever again. But that's what they want from me, right? So if I want to maintain my quality, I would have to be just by myself and listen to my own instinct. These people don't know what they're doing. They don't. They're busy partying and sleeping with each other's wives. That's what they do.
I've heard the same statement from so many people, sleeping with each other's husbands and wives and whatnot. I mean, this has become like a culture down there, and it is very ironic. We're talking about India. We're not talking about a third world country, or we're not talking about any other, Western country. This is India, where it was all about, our religious beliefs, the power of marriage and all that stuff. I've heard stories, all these big producers as well as actors sending their wives and vice versa to others, so that you don't even realize who is whose wife or husband and all that stuff. It is so bad and so nasty. And then we add to this the drug menace. Everybody is constantly behind different drugs now. The youngsters, ye jo Shahrukhs and Salmans of the industry, they were like now they're the grandfathers and all whatnot. Now their kids are getting involved. uh, if I have to ask you, what is your understanding and your take around what has happened, this drama that happened about a month ago, since October 2nd, around Aryan Khan. What do you feel? Is he, a lot of media houses have come out and said, it is all poor Aryan Khan. He has been framed into it. Poor Salman, oh sorry, poor Shah Rukh. He's just the target, and they're using his kid to target him and defame him. What do you have to say about that?
He was a target, obviously, but it was all a PR stunt. His movie's coming out next year, and basically, see, drug and all is a very common kind of a problem because even college students do it, right? So I think they were just trying to portray him as a regular kid, so people would be able to relate with him. Oh, he's got problems. Look, like the police is always the bad guy here, and they're okay with it because they get money for it. They don't mind playing the bad guy. But yeah, it was not like he's innocent. I've heard he never went to the jail even. Aryan was kept very safely. Like he wasn't exactly struggling or whatever. He was not eating jail ka roti and all that. He was pretty, 5-star facility. Like yeah, it was all a joke. Like that's what they do. You know, make chutia out of people. That's basically it.
All right. No worries. I mean, this is candid. This is what we want people to hear. Uh, not literally, but basically the real story. Uh, Tell me a little bit about this incident. And the reason I'm asking you again, if you could just elaborate a little bit more. You've been personally abused, by Clayton or by many more. Uh, what goes in? What goes in your mind, and as you mentioned, you started very early in your in the career, and your age was like you were in teens when you started off. uh, there's always this doubt in your mind, or in everybody's mind. What am I gonna do? What is my future gonna look like? Whether I'll make it or not, whether I will even survive. Or so, what made you take these steps, that what, no matter what, I'm gonna stand up, I'm gonna speak against these, I am gonna raise my voice, and not let these monsters, these criminals, kind of take over me or my body or my career, and abuse me. So tell us a little bit about that as well.
I had no choice. Okay, 2020 was obviously hard for everyone, and when you already have anxiety, when you're already dealing with so much trauma, right? It's like I was struggling big time, and then this Sushant thing happened, and honestly, I was like shaken up by everything, and I wanted to do something, and nobody was doing anything about it. So I just, and even as an artist, I wanted people to know my story, where I'm coming from, right? Because I don't talk. Like, people are so quick to call me like, oh, she's uptight, she's very this, guarded, and all not. Like, I wanted them to know the real me, where I'm coming from, because I think I'm a survivor. And if I can survive all of that, I can survive literally anything. That's how I feel right now. And all, I feel like my faith has really strengthened because of all this. I do believe in God. There is no other reason for me to still be alive, to still be this positive about my future, to be just doing what I'm doing. And songwriting doesn't happen. Not everybody can write a song. So I do feel blessed. I do think everything happens for a reason. And I don't think yeah, you're right. And nobody else could have done it. Girls can't even back me up. So what they're going to do about it? Like, it is what it is. It had to happen this way. Yeah.
Right. And since you are a singer, you are a professional level singer. I would always, had it on my mind that I'll maybe request you, up to you, if you could hum a few lines and sing one of your songs. But if it's okay with you, I would love few of. Let me just mute you because as soon as I start talking, the disturbance increases. Okay. So while I definitely would love to hear your voice and your song as well, but is it okay if I ask few people to join and they can share something with you or show some support on the live session? Is that okay? Only if you say yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, yeah,
All
absolutely.
right. So, guys, anybody who wants to join, I have pinged the URL. I would love to, have you as well. Say a few words. Keep it short and sweet. I don't expect a lot of people. Let me ask your questions as well. Why are police? I don't think she can answer that, but we all know how they are. Why are the police so corrupt in India?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I
Correct.
think they make peanuts, right? Their own payment is like that. And these people are not well educated, so they have to kind of table ke niche wala. That's what they depend on.
Correct. 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 And Pooja ji is asking, do you know anything about the SSR murder?
Oh, I know what is in the public domain. I don't really have an insight, but yeah, definitely he was framed and he was a target for a very long time. Like they wanted him out. Like I don't know how he managed since 2012 till here. Like
Right.
they wanted
Now
him
you
gone.
you you also mentioned earlier about Jia Khan. Have
Yeah.
you heard or have you known Suraj Pancholi? Have you heard anything about Suraj Pancholi or anybody related to Jia Khan model?
Suraj, we have mutual friends, but I have never met him. I've made it a point to never come across him. Boils my blood. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I don't. What he did was emotional abuse. I don't think he physically killed her. I don't think it was him. It was either murder for hire, which is very common in this industry, because people don't have the balls to do it themselves. But there are people who do it, even for as less as like 4,000. That kind of money, they would just kill people for that. It was either something like that, or it was. Some people say it was his own dad because I forget his name, but he's very abusive. Like
Aditya.
if he can hit his
Aditya
own
Pancholi.
wife, if he can hit his own son.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, if Gia is making kind of a trouble, causing any trouble in his family, so he would want to get rid of her. That's what I think happened.
Right. Right. No, I think there are enough evidences, and we've seen the CCTV footage and all that stuff where Aditya Pancholi, Suraj Pancholi's dad, was killed right before she was killed, and so I see YouTube
He,
India. Sorry.
like the tracksuit that she was wearing, I think was missing, and that is completely up on the police, right? They did something. You can't. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not even calling up the so-called investigating officer of mine. I have no hope. I don't know what to expect. Instead of gathering the evidence from my end, they are constantly like, "Oh no, this is a very old case. Ye to nahi hoga, this and that." So they made their attitude very clear towards me. So I was like, "Let it be. Let's see what happens." Because I know I'm in the right. I just
All
wanted
right.
people to know my story. It's not about throwing these asses like in the jail.
Correct. Correct.
Whatever's meant to
Absolutely.
happen to them will happen regardless. I do believe in karma.
Excellent. Excellent. Absolutely. All right. I'm gonna take a few of the people here. So YouTube India, please go ahead. कुछ कहना चाहते हैं आप? Okay. I'll move to Pradeep ji. Pradeep ji, Jai Hind, please go ahead.
Jai Hind, Barunji.
Jai
Jai
Hind.
Hind, Aparna, for the nice session. Actually, you are opening the eyes of the newbies who are seriously interested to enter into the so-called Bollywood or movie industries. And I'm sitting far away from Barunji and far away from you as well. Probably I'm 13,000 kilometers away from your place and maybe around 10,000 kilometers away from Barunji. I'm sitting in the southern hemisphere, Auckland, New Zealand. And I love always Barunji's shows. And today it was very interesting session from since the beginning. You have very smartly and very boldly and with very honest intention you were exposing the Bollywoods and actually not Bollywood, the whole of our movie industry behind the screen, what happens to the people. And that's eye opener for the new generations in our India, the aspirants who are working seriously with some qualifications and talents, and they finally been abused, which is a shame to the country. And today, actually, I have a very small question to you. To if you are happy to answer that, and if you feel difficulty or have some issues, which you probably might not say clearly, don't worry. You don't need to answer that. My question is a very simple question. If you wish, my question is the Bollywood's power, as you said, Bollywood is more powerful than the government of India? I agree with you. First of all, my perspective is different. I look around the whole story from the finance angle, and my profession is finance. So I understand from the financial angle, they have much more power. But my question is it the power hidden something else like honey trapping to the Indian politicians? And through these politicians, the government bureaucracy, judiciary, administration, everything they do control. This is the one of the points. If you have any restriction to expose, you can. And if you wish, you can answer me. That's it.
Would you be able to repeat the question one time?
Okay, yeah, yeah. I repeat the question. It's a very tough question. I understand. My intention is to say that as a normal people from outside, we understand the Bollywoods have a very powerful tool which doesn't come onto the surface. That is, they used the Bollywood young talented artist to utilize in sex trouble or sex activity with the so-called powerful people in India, maybe politicians, maybe bureaucrats, maybe peoples in the judiciary, and also the kingpins of so-called business houses. So basically, who are the more powerful people in India as we expect to see them? They are actually somehow in honey trapped, and they have records with the Bollywoods some other way, which they regularly utilize them, blackmailing them, and force them to control them.
I don't. Okay, I don't think any actress is kind of like at a gunpoint, and by any businessman or even anyone in Bollywood do it out of their will, because it's a conditioning thing and they're okay with it. Everybody wants, it's Squid Game. It's very much Squid Games. They want to make money, they want to survive, and they know where to go. And it's Dubai, it's with the sheikhs. That's where the money comes from. It's not even Shahrukh. Nobody. It's not about Shahrukh, but he's not. He's just a pawn. The main guys are over there. So sleeping around, if that's making them money, like I said, if they can sleep around for work, they can sleep around for money. They can, if somebody's buying them a house, somebody's buying them a car, why not? Like, it's not a big deal. They are just different kind of people, I guess. I can't relate, but yeah, it is what it is. And yes, politicians, I know a lot of people who, it's a very common thing. They keep hitting on these women and they always, like, as a trophy thing, right? They can have their own wife, their own family, but they want, I'm again gonna say Urvashi because I've heard about her a lot. She's kind of popular with the politicians. She's popular with the government guys. So yeah, like they do it. Like they want to be a trophy. She gets to be, she gets the money, she gets the whatever, all the best of him, and he gets the trophy. Everybody does it. It's very common. Sometimes it ends up in a marriage even, where the woman gets the trophy. and a lot of women have been, married like this to businessmen down south, especially. That's what happens in Kannada movies and all that. But yeah,
As you said, just give an example of a politician who just passed away recently. You might know this gentleman have a YouTube file with one of the Bollywood star, where they have some discussions which explains, which it's not a normal discussion, probably some sort of sex related discussions. The gentleman who just passed away, he was a very powerful leader in India. You
Yeah,
named
yeah,
actually.
आप नाम भी ले सकते हैं प्रदीप जी. Actually, Aparna has already taken that name.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it is Amar
no, no,
Singh,
I think I
और
heard it.
अमर
Is
सिंह
he
की
talking
बात
about?
Amar Singh with Bipasha Basu. Amar
विपाशा
Singh with
बासु.
Bipasha Basu, which is publicly
Yes,
available
yes.
in the YouTube, and we know what
So
sort of discussions they have between them. So I'm saying, is it one of the Bollywood's power that they have abused some of the politicians and some powerful administrative people, even in the judiciary, some judges also, so they can handle those people, they can blackmail them, and the guys are into their trap, and that's long as long as these people are alive and in power, the Bollywood's power is working. That's my
see,
question.
power is power, right? And these women understand it. They may not have money, but they know how to use their body, obviously. And Bipasha is one of, like, Bipasha has been one of the first. She has slept around a lot. And again, Anirban was very proud of her because Anirban was the one who got the first movie, apparently. I don't know. So yeah, and Amar Singh was also very close with Amitabh Bachchan, right? And Amitabh Bachchan is into a whole different dirt altogether. So nobody's clean. Just because they wear white clothes doesn't mean anything. But yeah, they're all powerful. They have each other's back, and frankly, most of these guys are bisexual, trisexual. So like they want to save their brothers. It's not a brother. It's basically like a boyfriend lover. So that's why they go so hard for each other. That's the truth, right? Even bye situation, they're all, yeah, very flexible and
Ha-
fluid. And I have
Right.
no problem with obviously LGBTQ. I love them, but be more open about it and don't abuse people because of that.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Right. And
I remember that phone call. I remember listening to it. It was very cringy because, yeah, you can't look at Bipasha the same way again.
correct,
I
correct.
knew the stories already, so
Perfect.
yeah.
Now you've mentioned Amitabh Bachchan as well, and I don't know how much or whatever you can, but do you want to kind of share anything around him as well? I would love, because the reason I'm asking you specifically is, I'm going to put you on mute for a second. Okay. The reason I'm asking you specifically is, again, I don't want to put you in a situation, but since you've taken the name yourself, so if you could, there are a lot of these Amitabh Bachchan fans, Shah Rukh fans, Salman fans, who keep on trolling people on social media. They feel Amitabh Bachchan or the Shah Rukh Khan or the Salman Khan, they are the gods of, and they are the best people ever to have happened to the industry or to our country. They are the people who have really made our country. They're the national treasure. If that is a word, then they are our national treasure. Do you want to shed a little bit of light and show the reality? Because a Varun Kapur talking or a Pradeep Chakraborty talking about it won't have the same impact as an Aparna talking about it, because she is somebody who might have experienced something internally. Plus, so please.
See, I haven't experienced per se, but I know how it works. Amitabh Bachchan is obviously someone I used to admire a lot, but it's just his voice. I don't even think he's a great actor, frankly. And these people have sustained as long as they have only because of the backing. And I told you how the backing comes. Nobody's clean. They're into a lot of shit, like altogether. So yeah. And there's a lot of incest as well, since you mentioned
Yeah.
Amitabh Bachchan. So yeah, there's a whole story of how he was the one interested in Aishwarya, but he could not be with her, so he worked something out with the chick. He was like, "You go with her." After all, they live in the same house.
Got it. Got it. All right. Last, less than 10 minutes, guys. I really want to be mindful of her time as well. So, like Freeze is saying, right? Orbishi, yes, we know, and you've taken a lot of other names as well, who fall in the same kind of category. You mentioned about Deepika Padukone a lot more because I think you from your earlier days being from Bangalore and your career also started. You've experienced that as well and you've seen it, and we've heard stories. Again, for us, it's like what media has shown or some of the people like you who've brought this information in front of us. Uh, has exposed these people like Deepika Padukone's and the Bipasha Basus of the industry. Are there any other names like these? And I'm sure this list is an endless list. But any other like such name which people should be aware of? You think that this person has created a kind of a fictionary image about herself or himself in front of the people, but the reality is completely different. Any other such kind of big name or famous name that you think?
When you talk about the public image, it's all fake for everyone. Oh my god, low battery. So yeah, like that's what the PR team does, right? And I can't really think of like a big name, but Aishwarya Rai Bachchan is also someone like I was very disappointed when I found out what she really is all about. And Miss India's in general, like I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted by everything Times of India does and puts women through. This guy's like Vineet Jan is like so tiny, he can barely reach a female's vagina, and that's where he stays at, literally abusing women. So, I mean, I don't know about the big names per se, but yeah, like
Yeah, the more we hear, the more disgusting we feel.
Ranveer
That's
Singh would be, yeah, Ranveer Singh is also big time into. I mean, everybody is into drugs mainly. People
yeah.
are like, oh, we love his energy. Ranveer Singh is so like all that, but that's just cocaine. That's what cocaine does.
We've
Yeah,
heard that. That's the secret of his energy. Like there was an
doesn't
ad.
even need food. Yeah.
There was this ad, right? Boost is the secret of my energy. Bollywoodians and these druggians, they can say, cocaine or MDMA or, all these are the secret for their energy. No doubt about it. I know, your battery is also draining down. YouTube, can you hear? Can you talk?
Sorry, it's
Good
also.
morning, Aparna ma'am. Um, I have simple question. There First question is why drugs is more famous among entertainment industry, and second question is what is the main reason behind it, and how are these drugs harming this industry, and last question is why this industry is not boycotting this poison. Um,
They don't see it as a problem.
under
First of all, it's a part of their life, and I don't know when it started, but it's always been like, well, ever since I arrived, I have not seen a single party where there was no cocaine. So I don't know what NCB is saying, like we don't know anything about it, because it's everywhere. It's it's up to them who they want to arrest, but it's everywhere. Drug is everywhere, and why it's more popular, I don't know. I think it's a part of being a superstar life, I guess, living a superstar gangster life. Everybody wants that. They, like you smoke cigars, you want to do drugs, you want dancers, you want strippers, all of that comes with a package. And yeah, I don't know, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, that sums it
And
all
where it
in this
comes
event.
from, that's why we have pimps. That's why there are so many pimps. That's why there is a darknet, which is very scary, because not just drugs, not just women, you can literally, hire someone to murder someone, like things like that. It's very scary and it's very common. That's why I was scared, because I have a lot of enemies, big enemies, and it's very easy to hire people to get rid of someone without getting your name involved. That's what they do. That's what happens, especially with the TV actors. So many of them die like as a suicide. It's never a suicide.
More power to you, Aparna. We could go on and on and on, but I really want to be mindful. We can definitely have another session where we talk more intricacies and more details. But I also want to keep it a little bit, light as well. So I would request you if you could have a few lines. But before that, one thing which I have to say, I'm getting some WhatsApp messages as well. Few people are right now in church and they cannot even, come on the screen. They wanted to talk to you, but all they are saying is, kudos to you for this courage that you chose to come out, speak with a face. Very rarely do we see someone who can take this kind of gutsy claim of coming out and talking about certain people. And these certain people are not like regular street peddlers. These are brand names, if I call them brand names. These are agencies, bigger agencies, who can literally break or make your careers. These are people who have really done so much wrong, as well as peddle people into this dirt, whatever you want to call it. But so really hats off to you. One last question, which I think I've been missing. Do you know anything about Ria Chakravarti, or have you heard anything about her? Or you are, I don't know why a lot of people are asking about Ria.
I don't know personally, but she's a part of them. She's a part of them, but she kind of, they turn her into a scapegoat just to kind of escape that whole situation. But she went back to them. It's very much a team, gang, this D company. That's where she gets her hafta and things from. There was a video viral of her, right, where she's all like apuntai hai, and she is. That's what she is,
Right,
and that's
and
not her
another
thing.
name,
Yeah.
right, another name that came out was, while we're talking about Ria, Imtiaz Khatri. Have you heard anything about him, or have you?
I've
Can you
heard
share?
a lot about him, but I haven't met him. I've heard a lot about him, and yeah, I try my best to not come across him. Yeah.
Okay,
Very much so. It's just names. Like names don't matter. Big goon, little goon. Little goon can turn into a big goon if the big one dies. It doesn't matter. They're all Mumbai is infested with these people. Gun infested, if that's the right word. Yeah.
got it. All right. So now at the end, if it's possible, we'd love to hear you. Okay, one last one. Now people are starting to kind of ask more questions. Ask about Dino. You want to say anything
Yeah,
about?
I would say I need to go now, Aparna, and thanks for the session. You have said so many important information today. I thank you once again, and Barunji for the show. I want to get away from the picture. You can add on somebody if you wish,
Sure,
and
sure.
thanks to
Thank
everybody today. That's
you.
it. Thanks.
Yes, thanks. About Dino Moria.
Dino was a model, right? Once upon a time, and you go from model to a supermodel. It's the same thing. It's the same thing what Bipasha did. They sleep around, they do drugs, they party. I mean, he's not a dangerous guy per se, but yeah, he's rich and he's got a house here because he's with them. Like I said, if you're not with them, you cannot prosper in Bombay exactly because they will come and they'll take your money. What you gonna do? That's what they do. They literally take away people's car, people's money. So yeah, that also happens.
Yeah, more power to you.
Like Gulshan Kumar, yeah, he
Yeah,
was shot dead for no reason. There's so many people, Smita Patil, so many people have been sacrificed for absolutely no reason, and they were all good people. They had good intentions, not just for the industry, for like everyone. They were social workers, and that's what they don't like. They just want people to work for them. Urvashi is the best example for everything, all of what we're saying. And I don't think she's into any trouble, but she may have realized that she cannot get out of it, that she can't escape. Like she's way too into it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But she chose that. She started, what, at 15 or 17. So yeah, that's
yeah,
all she knows.
correct. I'll add two more names before I ask you to hum few lines. What do you have to say about Sridevi? And lastly, Anything you want to talk a little bit, or say about Sushant and the murder, or generally, about how things can get for anybody like Sushant?
Sri Devi was definitely a murder again, and I'm 100% sure because I have heard it. Bollywood people themselves talking amongst themselves and confirming that it was indeed Boni Kapoor's job, and nobody freaking drowns in a bathtub after drinking a glass of wine. And like it's so funny to me that people actually fall for these kind of stories again and again and again, not just once. And like, yeah, that's what happened. And he paid a big amount of money. It's like Dubai police had him by the balls and they were not letting him because they knew. But then he had to pay a huge amount of money to get the body here. And also the people, the so-called fans who go and wave outside Mannat, etc., they're all hired. I don't know how many real fans of Shah Rukh or Salman go do that. And the same people were hired for the funeral. The so many people have come out for Sri Devi's funeral, all hired. They get 3-4 thousand per person. What do they care? They're making money. That's the thing. People think money, as long as they have money, they can get away with literally anything. And well, in most cases, they have. And as far as Sushant's thing is concerned, there's a big theory that he was a spy, right? I don't know if you've heard. Like, he faked his own death and he escaped. And I don't know why, but I kind of want
Yeah,
to
that's
believe it
those are.
because I saw the body. I saw the body, like if you look at the dead body, you would realize that's not Sushant. That is not Sushant. That's a much younger guy from Haryana, fat, not fit at all. That's not Sushant's body. So whatever happened, either Sushant faked his own death because he's alive, and or these people kidnapped him, kept him somewhere. I don't know, but he did not die on the 14th of June for sure. But yeah, he was
Oh,
working not he was working against, he was working on something against Bollywood, and that something I think they found out basically, so they wanted him
but
gone.
one second, one
It
second.
wasn't
You
just
you
about
just
his success. Yeah.
No, no, one second, one second. So you said you saw Sushant's body, as in, like, where did you
No, the
see?
pictures, obviously, the
Oh,
pictures.
pictures. Okay, yeah. I was like, okay, because
No,
all these are these are conspiracy theories spread around by
no, but the
uh,
pictures were everywhere. And honestly, nowadays, like, I don't know, some TV actor died recently, right? And they did not even there are no pictures of
right,
the body. How do you
right.
believe, like, as an audience, as a fan, whatever, you need to see the pictures to believe it, because of all of this crap that happens in Bollywood. And I'm
Okay,
100% sure that's not Sushant's body. That is
okay.
not.
No, yeah, no. So I think we've been following on this particular thing very closely. Even the sisters confirmed and all that stuff. I know, there are rumors and there are certain theories floating around. But why I don't agree with that, those kind of conspiracy theories, is because the family, the dad and the sisters have already confirmed. They've seen the body and all that stuff. It does look different in the photographs. There have been multiple videos, and again, on my platform, I very shamefully I have to accept this and acknowledge the biggest narrative, fake narrative person came on my platform, and he built up a lot of different theories and stories, and he's still peddling all the lies and all that stuff. But at the same time, the stories have been quashed. Even we've spoken to certain people in the agencies as well. So we have kind of enough evidence and enough proof that Sushant did die. Sushant was not a spy, and all that stuff. This is one channel which is very notoriously famous for building up certain systems. But irrespective, I think we'll definitely keep on talking more about the issues like what you are facing. We would love to hear more stories, more of these. People like Anirba Blah. I'm glad he's no more part of these agencies. people like these should actually not are a harm to our country, to our society, should not be even given that kind of power. Of course, these people are uh, misusing. I was reading one of those news articles where a girl, Mira Omar, uh, was asked to do certain things in a certain way, and what even Aparna mentioned, certain things are being forced on people, both men and women. Uh, but it's very unfortunate that these people, criminals like Anirban, still exist. People like Clayton still exist. It's very important, guys, that we all stand just like what Aparna is standing for and come out and talk. I see Freeze join as well, so I'm going to put in one last person. Hello, Freeze.
Hi, Varun. How are you?
Hi, good.
Hi, Aparna. I'm happy and glad that she mentioned about the scene in the music industry also. Because, as you know, Varun, I don't think we've heard anything, a whole lot of different stuff or news from her to what I had told you long time ago, right? Even in the music scene, because I'm from the music background. Now, the main thing that I came to ask her is there's a stuff that she just now mentioned about Sushant's body. Well, I myself think that is Sushant's body. A lot of us think, and I have done a lot of I don't know if I'm detailed enough, but I've done a lot of digging inside in looking at the pattern of Ria and the entry and how things changed in his life. From she taking over and removing her old staff, bringing in new staff, and how in the recent times we have got to know that she was more in touch with the staff than Sushant himself, right? And even the money that is going in, blah, 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 blah. The point I want to ask you is wherever you are, in the sense from the music background or ad world, how much, because you know what I want to know, what is our number, I want to know, if you know, Varun, what I'm talking about, right? In terms of SSRN or justice seekers, I want to know how much of a difference has it really made to the industry. Is it there has to is there any harm or any pinch has happened to the industry? And also at the same time, were you, Aparna, aware that such a kind of a movement is on? And when did you hear about Varun? And there's so many other platforms on everyday basis we speak. So I want to know, like, how much have you heard about SSRians or people fighting for justice?
Or a general question, if I have to put it across, Aparna, is how much of a noise that we guys are trying to make around
Okay,
Bollywood
thank you.
or boycott Bollywood or
Yeah.
anti drugs and clean drug free India, has this trickled into that Bollywood kind of bubble, and is that making an impact?
Frankly, people are just more careful about it. It hasn't stopped, and I don't know if it ever will. And you talked about these people getting fired, and the thing is, they got fired, but it's not like they've stopped working. They have not. Like Ajit Thakur, be it, or what's his name, Anirban, they're making movies. They are making movies as producers. They can still get money, do it independently. Because you know what, whatever, they have allies, and they are all supporting each other. They're all like each other, so what are you gonna do? They are in majority. But yeah, they obviously do try to keep their image, reputation. That's something very important to them, and they try to keep it as clean as possible. So I mean,
Yeah,
there's been a
because
lot of hiring and firing though. Like within the agency, like I said, if somebody's been identified as a drug peddler, they got fired. But I'm talking about the lower ones. You can't fire Shah Rukh and Salman. That's never gonna change.
okay, okay. The other stuff I
I mean,
wanted
they're
to say
trying to
that
make it look like it is doing something, but I don't know if it is. But yes, there's been a lot of changes staff-wise. They want more loyal people who would not speak up. Unlike,
well, I think that's just an eye washer of a correction just to fool us, nothing else, nothing more. It's just some people have changed, but the operations may be on. I think what I see right now is they're keeping it a bit low key. They're playing it very low, but the business is as usual, not on the grand scale, because anyway we have been going through pandemic also. But like how I just posted, it's very shocking, Varun, that यही रोतेला का नाम, एंड अभी दुबई में, in fact for that matter, she was on the stage with the, you know, who I wrote, okay, Madam Amrita के साथ. So it is very shaking, and it's again घूम फिर के उधर ही आता है, Varun, which I had told you, I don't know how many months ago, that Bollywood and this whole industry itself, and I don't know if Aparna is aware of this guy called Karan Joseph. He was like a little younger brother to me, who was thrown out from the building in Bandra. This is 2017 ka case. He was a keyboardist, a pianist. I don't know if you're aware of that. So again, thank you so much for coming and speaking. And the one main thing that you really pointed out, which even I've been screaming for a long time, that it's not only in actors, it's there in music, it's there in the dance industry, it's there cinematographers, editors. I mean, end of the day, if you're with them, or you're against them. And I'm sorry, but in many cases, Aparna, they just don't take your money; they take your life away. And a lot has happened even to myself. Okay, take care. All the best. I'll see you guys. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Okay, sorry. Thanks, Freeze. All right, so we're gonna end this for now. Would love to hear your voice. Would love to hear a song, if possible, Aparna. But at the
Another
same
time.
time, even before you do
Talk too
that,
much.
even before you do that, I really have to, with heartfelt gratitude, I really want to thank you for taking this time, for spending this time with us all. I'm sure a lot of people heard. I'm sure a lot of people are going to watch this later because, of course, it was too late in the night for India. A lot of people will watch it in the morning and they will definitely
Yeah.
come out and support you. So I just want to say one thing. This is your platform, Aparna. Whenever you feel you need to speak up, you need to speak out, you need people to hear you, or you just need to hear us out and need that kind of reassurance that there are people with you. This is always going to be there for you. So feel free anytime, any day. You give us a time, you give us the opportunity, we'll be there for you. Not only for a session, also offline. As much of the support we can, we will definitely support you because stories like these definitely need to be heard. People, the newer generation, need to be careful and need to take certain steps, certain, uh, you know, let me just mute again. Okay, and in the very end, all I can say is more power to you, people like you who are very few in numbers, who have the guts, the courage to come out and speak. And I'm really, really humbled that you chose this platform, you chose to speak up. Like you mentioned, the only first video, kind of, because I've seen your Instagram posts, I've seen your social media posts, but I'm sure this video will go a long way for bringing awareness to the people who really need to hear what goes into all these brands, these agencies, these people, the so-called Mahanayaks and the Badshahs of the industry, which are nothing more than, if I could use the word, and I apologize if anybody feels bad, but worse than gutter ke keede. Literally, all I can say about these people is because they abuse the morality of people, they abuse the talent, and they throw that talent away just because they want their own people to be in the limelight. I have names now. I'm more than happy to take all those names. I've taken them in the past as well. I will not shy away, and I'm so glad Aparna did the same, and more power to her. Thank you so much, and now up to you. Whatever you want to say, and then few lines, please, if possible.
No, that's it. Thank you for having me. Honestly, I thought I'd be very nervous, but apparently there's a lot that needs to come out of myself, I guess. I feel good. Yeah, and thank you for, just for the support. Because even the media people, they wrote an article and kind of disappeared. And after I said yes to you, I was like, my team told me not to kind of talk about it. Basically, just move on, focus on work, etc. So I was like, yeah, because I did not say yes to anyone else for a video thing. So I'm glad we did it. It was fun.
I'm
I
glad.
hope it
I'm
helps
so glad.
people because that's the whole point.
Well, any two lines, few lines,
Sorry.
anything you want to sing for us, any of your songs, your composition, anything, if possible, if your voice allows you.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say. I'm new to singing, kind of. But yeah, next time perhaps.
Okay. All right. No worries. No worries. But again, once again, thank you from all the people who watched this, who've heard your story, and I really look forward to speaking to you again sometime soon, with more names, with more exposure, and more importantly, some great messages to our younger generation, of course, as well as the generation like my parents who still feel that Amitabh Bachchan's or the Shah Rukhs are the face of our country, and such a face should just be slapped is all I can say. So thank you once again, Parna. Thank you for taking this time, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys, and Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and
Thank
good
you.
night, everybody.